Welcome back, guys, to episode 14 of my Final Fantasy playthrough. Final Fantasy X playthrough, I should say. As I'm recording this, I just released episode 13 yesterday, and I have read a bunch of comments. I just haven't replied to most of them yet. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. I'll probably come on to a couple of those comments later. But first, I've got some thoughts. I don't know how long it's going to go on for. I've given up trying to discipline myself. We'll just see how it goes. Big thoughts, because I feel like we're nearing the end of the main game, like the main story. Because we're in Zanarkand ruins. That feels like we're coming to the end, because isn't that where, you fight the final Aeon on the calm lands, or previously that happened at least anyway. But like, is this where you get the final Aeon or something like that? I can't remember. Anyway, like it's like the sort of end game times, basically, with the small caveat that I know at some point, and it's got to be coming pretty soon, I'm able to fast travel back to different locations, and people in the comments have suggested like one or two things I should do when I get that opportunity, so I am going to do that. So I think it's time to try and sort of summarise what I think about what's going to happen with the game, and themes and all that sort of stuff before we move any further, because I know that at the end of the last episode the party went round that corner, and I feel like that's going to trigger another cutscene. So I want to get my thoughts, predictions, ramblings in before that happens. So where to start? I went on a thinking walk again today. I've even made some notes. I've made some notes that I've got here in front of me, but they are fairly disorganised notes, so I don't know how I'm going to address this. And also, these notes aren't up to date. I've been having more thoughts after I made these notes earlier, which we're going to have to try and remember. Right, so I've talked about, so I did a little bit of historical research, right? So into Japanese Buddhism and Shintoism, which I knew a scarce amount about, basically nothing, but a tiny amount. Because I feel like from the tiny bit that I knew, this game really is taking from these Japanese traditional belief systems, and someone I think in episode 2 or something, because I said, this really feels like they're taking from belief systems, and someone commented back in episode 2 or 3, I think it was 2, mentioned that the developers were trying to create a sort of Japanese based fantasy rather than sort of the European medieval fantasy. So I was on the right lines of thinking there. And the tiny bit I know about Shintoism made me think, okay, well, let's actually look up a bit more. So I looked up a bit more. And it definitely is taking from Shintoism, in that the fiends that you see here are definitely taken from the Shinto belief of Onryu, or Onryo, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And I thought, I knew it was sort of ringing a bell. And I remember playing Neo, if you've played Neo, that has Onryo, and also there's mentions of it in Ghost of Tsushima as well. Onryo, which are essentially someone out there who will watch this at some point and will know a lot more about it than I do. But essentially, if you don't honour the dead, and in the case of Final Fantasy X, like send them, but if you don't honour the dead and ensure that they are properly remembered, they may become malevolent spirits that can cause harm to varying degrees. So that's definitely taken from traditional Shintoism. And then Buddhism started coming in around, I think it was 300 AD, 300 CE, and merged with Shintoism, which I knew before. And that's essentially what happened. And that is definitely, I think I said in the previous episode or the episode before, I can't remember when, the developers are definitely taken from that historical aspect of Japanese culture and belief systems. Now I'm going to come back to that, because basically I was thinking today, all of the things that I've sort of said and sort of pondered on and got right, got wrong, all of those bits, well, the right bits, I suppose, are now coalescing into one sort of whole that's starting to make a lot more sense. But one thing I haven't talked about in any real detail is sin, right? Like, what is sin? What do I think sin is? And from the very beginning, I was not buying, I've said this previously, I was not buying the Yevonite, Bavelian, if you want to call it that, bullshit about, it's because of Machina, and the Al-Bhed used Machina, and that's why sin keeps coming back, because it's the Al-Bed's fault, and we've got to stop using all this Machina, and blah, 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 blah. Knew that was bullshit. I still think it's bullshit. I'm a bit like how I am as close to being certain that Auron is dead without literal, direct, absolute proof. I'm at that level of certainty that the Yevonite explanation as to why sin comes back, i.e. the Al-Bhed Machina, all that sort of stuff, is bullshit. I'm as close to thinking that's complete bullshit. So I'm going to take that as completely fact. That's bullshit. I also briefly mentioned, a couple of episodes ago maybe, that like we call it sin, or in-game people call it sin, and therefore we call it sin, because that is the name given to this phenomenon by the Yevonite structures, by the maesters and the religious clergy that surround this modern interpretation of Yevon. Because they want to attach it back to it's the people's fault, and particularly the subset of people's fault. Divide and conquer, right? So it's not anything to do with that. And what have I put down in my notes? Okay, so this is what I was initially thinking, but it's now I've now developed from that, and I don't think it's exactly this, but I'll get to that bit in a minute. So I said, what is sin? I'm reading from my notes now. I said, could be the faith working against the people of Spira. Just as the people pray to Yevon, just as the summoners pray to the faith to help them and summon Aeons, they are also summoning the anti-Aeon, sin, as a product of their fear of sin. Oh, God. My PlayStation's going to close down. God, I am recording this, aren't I? Let's double check. I am, good. So that's what I initially thought, and I think fear has still got something to do with it. But then, as I was reading about Shintoism, I started thinking about, what is a big thing that I've taken from this game that I think the developers really wanted to comment on. Well, they wanted to create a fantastical world that is also a commentary on real-world phenomena, like power struggles, the corruption of power and the power of the corrupt, and all real-world phenomena. And just as Shintoism is part of their history, I was thinking, well, what is sin? Like, we see it as like a natural disaster, but I don't think it is that. I think sin is man-made, but then I started thinking it's not man-made because of people's fear, although that I think fear comes into the maintenance of sin, which I'll get onto in a minute. But in terms of the creation of sin, I think sin was man-made. And what made me think that is that, look at Japanese history. Just as they put Japanese Buddhism and Japanese Shintoism as part of their history into this fantastical setting, more recently there's been the nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then it just occurred to me, sin is a man-made weapon of mass destruction. This is what I think. And the more I thought about it, the more I think this is what sin is. And what another thing that made me think that is I went back and I watched that bit of explanation that Ghost Kid made to Tidus in the last episode, and he talked about the war of Bavel versus Zanarkand, right? And I can't remember if we'd ever got this much detail before. If we did, I'd forgotten it. But he specifically said it's Bavel versus Zanarkand. Bavel had the Machina, Zanarkand had the Summoners. And so this triggered loads of things in my mind. So I think what happened is, this is where my thoughts are going to get jumbled, but I think what happened is, just as the faith, I mean, I wasn't completely right with the faith sort of creating Zanarkand, but I was on the right lines. Just as the faith, who turned out to be as the Ghost Kid explained, turned out to be the survivors of that war, became the faith. Just as those faiths banded together to create Dream Zanarkand, to keep it in memory, to keep it alive in some way. I think in the war of Zanarkand versus Bavel, the summoners of Zanarkand, who I think represent the original grassroots cultural belief system that represents Shintoism in this real world Shintoism in this fantastical setting. That what the Ghost Kid told us there is that Zanarkand had summoners, but I seem to recall, like way earlier in the game, someone said, I can't remember if it was Lulu or an NPC or someone said that like the war ended, the war was won, but basically it was replaced by Sin, or then Sin came along, like basically straight afterwards or shortly afterwards or something like that. And so therefore, the summoners predate Sin. So the summoners weren't always there to get rid of Sin. They had an earlier grassroots purpose in the belief system. The original belief system of Yevon. Maybe it was called something else before then, but let's call it the original belief system of Yevon. And we also know from what Ghost Kid told us is that Bavel used their Machina to fight against Zanarkand and the Summoners. So Bavel back then didn't like the Summoners. The Summoners were a threat to their power, and it was like a big war, obviously. And so I think the Summoners before Sin, as well as being potentially these people that could send the dead or make sure the dead are respected in some way, like Shintoism dictates in real life. They were like warrior wizards, right? They were actively summoning Aeons. They were literally still called summoners, so they must have been summoning Aeons still. Summoning Aeons as direct combatants against Bavel and the Bavel Machina. But Zanarkand was destroyed. And here's the big one. This is when it comes back to the similarities between nuclear destruction, the nuclear bomb being dropped. It's a bit different though. I think Zanarkand and the army of summoners, they were losing. I don't think everyone was just a summoner, but I think there were lots of summoners. They were losing the war against the new era of mechanization, which I think is also like a historical commentary on the real world. They basically had one last idea, like a Hail Mary. It's like our backs are against the wall. We've got to do something. And so collectively, the summoners, maybe everyone, maybe led by the summoners, but like the summoners, they all got together and they summoned the most powerful Aeon they could, which we now call Sin. But I reckon maybe they knew that it was like it was a last-ditch attempt. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they thought they could control it. Maybe they didn't. In my mind, I like to think that maybe they were aware that they might not be able to control it, and it might just obliterate everything. But they were also aware that if they didn't do this, they would lose. They would lose the war, and all their culture, all their belief, everything would be stamped out by Bavel, who are like almost like a sort of a miniature colonial power. And they refused to go down meekly and mildly and be stamped out. And so they thought, if we create this, they wouldn't have referred to it like this, obviously, but using modern lingo, we drop the nuclear bomb on Zanarkand, say, which is, you think about it, that's got direct references back to, what Nagasaki and Hiroshima looked like after the bombs were dropped. When you look at Zanarkand, I was looking back at the footage from last episode. We might wipe most of us out, but we'll also destroy the Bavelians and hopefully end the war, and then hopefully some of us will survive to rebuild our culture. And they did. Some of them went into the faith and created this dream memory of what Zanarkand used to be like. But they also did survive, and I'll get onto that in a minute. And maybe they knew that this could risk like something. I imagine they probably didn't know that like it would create this sort of constantly recycled thing that is sin. But I think to some extent they probably knew that it was like an extreme thing that could sort of wipe out a lot more people than they wanted to. Anyway, so I think that's what sin is. How is sin maintained? Shall I tackle that next? Okay, let's talk about how sin is maintained. So that's how I think sin was started. And then my original thought process that I've got in my notes here was about, it's the constant fear that maintains it. I think that's sort of true. I think that there needs to be a soul. So when the summoners defeat sin, there needs to be some sort of soul, i.e. Jekt, that replaces the soul that was sin previously to keep it going. But I think it's empowered by the fear and concern that the people of Spira have. It's a bit like, I don't know if anybody in the chat has read any Terry Pratchett, but there's one and his Discworld series. In one of those books, and it might be more than just this one book, but there's a book called Small Gods, and it's a comedy fantasy series, if you're not familiar with Terry Pratchett. He was a big author in the UK, died a few years back. But in Small Gods, there's this concept, and it probably doesn't just come from Small Gods, but I remember this is when I read it for the first time when I was a kid, which is that gods are born if someone just believes in that god. So they're born out of people's imagination. And that's how I feel that sin is maintained. The replacement soul I eject forms like the core of the sin. That's like the sin faith. Jekt is like the sin faith. But in order for him to take physical form in Spira, there needs to be this fear and fearful belief from the people of Spira that sin is real and exists and is coming to get them. And that create just as aeons are summoned from the willpower of the summoner and the presence of the faith, just as they are turned into a material being, that's how sin is formed. Now we come back to what I've talked about throughout, which is the idea of corruption, theocracies, maintenance of power, oppression, and all that sort of stuff. I think, and it also comes back to Japanese Buddhism and Shintoism and how they merged that. I think after the war against Zanarkand, it ended the war, but there was enough power still in the Bavelians. They still had enough of a power structure together that they managed to take control of what was left of Spira. And I don't know exactly how, but they obviously emerged the victors somehow. Maybe the creation of Sin actually did more damage to Zanarkand. Well, I mean, I think it wiped out Zanarkand. I think Sin destroyed Zanarkand, and there was a brief, because what am I trying to say? Anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down in that. Zanarkand was destroyed. Bavel emerged just about the victors, and they utilised this shock, the shock of the war. It's a bit like I don't know if anyone's read Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein. That was talking more about how political powers implement economic policies using shocks and disasters. But this is not so much about economics, but the same theory applies, which is that after a big shock, whether that be a war, in this case a war, or a natural disaster, the powers that be use that shock and the fear and confusion surrounding it to create a narrative as to what caused that shock, how we can stop it, etc., etc. And then they slip in their own agenda into that. And because people are so shocked and confused and scared, looking to leadership and power structures to explain what the hell is going on, it often is very successful. And I think that's what the Bavelians did here. Again, like this is like I'm not just pulling this out of my arse. This is relying on what happens in the real world to sort of frame my thought process. And I think that's what the developers have done really well in this game. So I'm not just pulling out my arse, I don't think. And somebody's at the door. And so I think the Bavelians emerged. I don't know if the Maesters existed at this point, like just after the Zanarkand War 1,000 years ago. I feel like maybe they weren't. I don't think it necessarily matters if the Maester power structure existed or not. I don't think that's necessarily that important. Either it did or they created it shortly afterwards. Either way, the Bavelians came together. They either used or created the Maesters, and they came out of that war with one thing on their minds. No, two things on their minds. One, Machina are really, really powerful, and we can't let that fall, the Machina technology, fall into the hands of anyone else, because that's how we defeated the Summoners and Zanarkand. And so we don't want to be defeated by our own tools. So we're going to keep all the Machina technology to ourselves. And if you think about it, that makes sense, because the Machina that they have in Bavel is different, and in my opinion, from what I've seen, more powerful than the standard Al-Bhed Machina, with the exception of the Machina that the Al-Bhed used in Operation Mihen, which they did with Seymour's sort of knowledge, which I'll get onto that in a minute. But I think Seymour knew that had really powerful Machina and wanted that to be destroyed by Sin. Anyway, that's off on a tangent. But that's why they victimised the Al-Bhed, because any subpopulation or civilization that starts learning the ways of Machina is a threat. So they see the Al-Bhed as a direct threat to their power, and they need to be oppressed, not necessarily wiped out. They've attacked them numerous occasions, I get the impression, and they oppress them. But you don't want to, as a power structure, you don't necessarily want to wipe out the thing that you want everybody to hate, because as soon as you wipe them out, people start looking elsewhere for what's going wrong in their life, and they don't want that, because they know they are what's wrong in a lot of people's lives. So they don't want to wipe the Al Bhed out forever. They just want to keep them, oppressed. So they're fearful of Machina. So that's where we get the Machina is evil rhetoric. Meanwhile, they keep that technology to themselves and they utilize it when they need to. Secondly, they are incredibly fearful of the summoners because they were having a hard time defeating the summoners in the first place, I think. Or maybe they weren't. Maybe they were winning fairly easily. But then, if I'm right, and I think I might be, the summoners go nuclear. They create what the Bavelians, the new Yevonites, named Sin. And that was like the most powerful thing that anyone's ever seen, I imagine. Like, flattened Zanarkand, flattened loads of other stuff, shortly after that, right? And so the Bavelians are like, Christ, we can never, ever, ever, ever let summoners band together again. Ever. And so what they did after that, I think, is they thought, that too many people know about the summoners, and I get the impression that summoners use sort of natural power. So I think you'll naturally just get like summoners popping up all over the place. It's a bit like the Force, like that you have it, and it's sort of a natural thing that occurs in some people. Or maybe it is you can train to do it. Either way, I think they would have thought either we can try and just wipe out every single summoner, and that would be a concerted effort because, as far as I can tell, they can pop up anywhere in the world, anywhere in Spira. That's incredibly resource intensive. Or, which is clearly what they've done, because summoners are still around to this day in Spira, we will control the knowledge and control the narrative and can control the history and the future of what summoners are and what they represent. And I think that's what they've done, because that's what happened through different points in history, as I understand it, with what became Japanese Buddhism and Shintoism. It was merged together, it was formalized. Like Shintoist beliefs were sort of, before they were sort of local belief systems that were sort of very separated. And I think Buddhism came in and sort of, there's different branches of, it's not as straightforward as this, but this is where the game simplified it a bit, because there's lots of different branches of Buddhism, obviously. But I think there's a certain degree of officialization, shall we say, of Shintoism in sort of the Japanese state, and it was more, at certain points anyway, centrally regulated, etc., etc., etc. Even within the different sects of Buddhism, I think it became more regulated and organised and stuff like that. And I think this is the developers' commentary on that, where the Bavelians have come in and go, right, we need to regulate, we need to politically, we won't call it politics, we'll call it belief in Yevon and all that jazz. And we will regulate the summoners. We will make sure they take individual journeys. They can have their guardians and stuff like that, but they take individual journeys to temples we build. And at every temple they go to, there'll be Yevonites, clergy of Bavel, stationed in those temples, just to make sure everything's going okay. We don't want summoners banding together. And there's nothing to say in the game that this is definitely the case, but just thinking about it more and more, it sort of makes sense that there's some fraternity, and fraternity is the wrong word, but there's some sort of kindred spirit amongst some of the summoners. But then you do get people like Donna, who's very antagonistic. It's a lonely journey, and a lot of the summoners want to be the summoner to banish sin, to get that glory, so they're much more individualistic. Yuna, as good a person as she is, see my ramble about what does it mean to be a good or bad person fundamentally in the previous episode. But as good a person as Yuna is, even she says, I want to become a high summoner. Like, I want to do it. So, like, it's baked into this new Yevon belief that the summoner, being a summoner, is a very lonely thing. You have your little band of guardians, but at the end of the day, you sacrifice yourself, and you don't rely on anybody outside of your little group. And I think that's a deliberate warping, and Yuna used that phrase, warping of Yevon's teachings, something in the previous episode on Gagazet. They use that warping to their advantage. They make sure the summoners stay effectively segregated from each other, they don't band together, and therefore the summoners and what they summon can never get that powerful. And then, this is where the next bit fits into it, I don't think Bavel know how to defeat Sin. But they know that, and they think, well, we can use Sin to our advantage. So as part of the new Yevonite belief system, they have worked Sin. They've called it Sin for a start. They said, we're going to call it Sin and say it's based on people's sins, particularly the Albed, or specifically the Albed. And it's never going to go away until we atone for our sins. Brackets. That's why we're going to make sure the Albed, or people like the Albed, are always around, so we can always point the finger and blame people, divide and conquer, make sure everybody hates anything but us. That's how we maintain control. And Sin is perfect for that. They don't know how to get rid of Sin. They know more than a lot of people do. Like, Seymour knew that Sin was Jecht, which is interesting. But I'll pause that there. I'll probably forget to talk about that because I still haven't quite figured out in my mind exactly what that is. But they go, well, we don't know how to get rid of Sin. We'll use it to our advantage. We'll just make sure that Sin keeps coming back. And we know that Sin will keep being replaced, provided that the summoners don't get too powerful. And even summoning the final Aeon won't be powerful enough to defeat Sin forever. And that works perfectly. Does it hurt us? Yeah, to a certain extent. Some people that are believers, maybe some of our inner circle, if they're unlucky, might get killed by Sin. But it's better to run that risk and maintain overall power and control and take the losses, rather than all the truth becoming clear and us as a structural power coming down and collapsing. Right, I need to go and get a drink of water. I'm losing my voice. Okay, I had a look at my notes. There's a bunch of other stuff that I haven't written down in my notes that I wanted to talk about, but hopefully I've covered eloquently enough for people to understand what I'm saying. I also think regarding Seymour, I think Seymour is, as far as Bavel are concerned, is a bit of a loose cannon, right? He's a youngish guy, like he's definitely a lot younger than Micah and younger than Keenock. We can see that Seymour is a loose cannon because Micah evidently didn't want Seymour to kill Keenock, but he did, and we can see that Seymour's got his own little followings of Guado, and this is another really well observed thing for a game that wants to include sort of younger demographics as well as like older people, to incorporate this idea of political factionalism in this. Seymour has now got his own political faction within the ruling elite of the Bavelian Yevonite structure. Keenock and Micah are not playing the same game that Seymour is, or rather the other way around. Seymour ain't playing their game, and it's their game, Keenock and Micah, which is the ongoing game, as it were, that serves the best interests of the Bavelian Yevonite power structure that will maintain that status quo for eons to come, as it were. But Seymour is a damaged person, I think. I think he, going back to what I was saying in a previous episode, I don't know whether he was born a psychopath or he sort of became a sociopath. But like he's not your ordinary corrupt maester. He's got problems. Like he's like an extra level of sort of evil at this point. And he, from what he was saying on Gagazet, he wants to see the downfall of Spira in its entirety. And I sort of get the feeling that he didn't say this explicitly, but like he's gone sort of full Thanos, and is also including Bavel as well. Let's just destroy everything. Let's wipe out everyone. Don't know whether he's included himself in that or not. Thanos didn't include himself when he clicked his fingers, but maybe Seymour will. I think Seymour is going to come unstuck though, because I could be wrong. Maybe he's got some knowledge that I haven't been privy to or haven't picked up on. But like, Jecht has become Sin, but Jecht doesn't really seem to have control over what Aeon Sin, that's how I'm seeing it now, Aeon Sin does. Like, there's a bit when Tyrus is talking to him. Is it the bit when he swims after him? It's like, or the bit when he's having that fan scene, he's floating in the sky somewhere where he's like, you don't want to kill all those people, do you? I know you don't mean to do it. It's just like an inevitable thing when you are the thing that is Sin. So like, Jecht's aware of what he is doing as Sin, but he can't stop it. And so what is there actually anything special about Seymour that will allow Seymour to actually have full control over Sin? Is he that much of an egotist that he thinks he's that powerful that he can control Sin? I would think, and I would like to see that if he does become Sin, which I sort of, as I've said in previous episodes, I sort of hope that he doesn't. But if he does, that actually he can't control Sin, and you know, he's just another version of that Sin in the never-ending spiral. What else haven't I talked about? I feel like there's something else I haven't talked about. I'll pause it while I try and remember. Oh, that's right. I got one comment. Excuse me. I think I've been shouting down the microphone a lot. I'm sort of losing my voice. I got a comment. I think it might be a new commenter who was sort of saying, love the playthrough, so I really appreciate the comment. One thing they said is that, I didn't enjoy that much your monologues about Waka and philosophy. It seemed like a bit left field. And I was like, no worries. Unfortunately, that is part of the package. When I didn't intend for it to say all of this, but I'm saying lots of stuff. One, like, I don't think it's necessarily that left field. As in, like, sort of crazy, unrelated thinking. For all the reasons that I've stated, I think the writers have put a lot of thought into how to get across very complex political, religious, human concepts and ideas that occur in the real world in a simplified enough form that it can be accessed by a lot of people. But it still functions as a great game, like with all the fighting mechanics and just like the more surface level human emotions that go on. It's still a great game, and it probably still would be a really good game even if it didn't have all this extra political stuff that's going on. But for me, this is what makes it such a standout game compared to most of the games I've played, like, in my life. Like, I really, really think this is a really, really great game. And it is all these extra layers of depth. And so I think even until I started thinking about it now, like, even I didn't realise how interconnected... Well, actually, no, I sort of did, actually. I'm doing myself down. I did. How interconnected all of this, all my different sort of monologues, how interconnected they are. Because... So it talks about all the power structures and the ways that you can maintain power by oppression and divide and conquer of the people and all that sort of stuff. That is, I think, and if you don't like this, I suppose you could just skip to when I actually start playing the game. But I think this is really important. This is why it's such a fantastic game, or part of the reason why it's such a fantastic game, is that I think if you do understand human beings such as Waka, but I think Waka, as hopefully I've got across now, is a representative of the human race in this game. if you do understand human beings as neither fundamentally good or bad, now you can actually make the sort of the biological evolutionary argument for saying, well, maybe as far as like human on human interaction goes, there's sort of maybe some sort of biological programming to make us tend towards having a bit of empathy, so slightly positive affect for at least those people in our immediate vicinity. Once you start getting to wider society, our brains aren't necessarily evolved to have like empathy for everyone everywhere at all times. That's up for debate. But anyway, like you could maybe say that maybe human beings are sort of as a blank slate maybe slightly good, but that's very dubious rationale, so I won't go into that. But I think it's fair to say that if you look at human beings as neither fundamentally good or bad, and through a mixture of genetics and environment and upbringing, etc., they start doing good and or bad things throughout their life, and then those things have good and bad impacts, etc. Once you start looking at human beings like that, and then you start looking at what this game is talking about, with manipulation of populations and of people and their mind through false rhetoric, sort of acorns of truth that are surrounded by lies and misinformation and stuff like that, then you can really see how people who aren't necessarily good or bad can believe in and do really bad things. Now, Waka hasn't done any really bad things. We haven't seen that. But you could argue that he was maybe going down that path, right? And it comes back to the shock doctrine stuff that I was talking about earlier, right? I was talking about it on like a massive political structural scale, but we can see that playing out, that same sort of shock doctrine playing out within Waka as an individual, right? His shock, his trauma, we would often call it, but we can also call it a shock, was that his brother was killed. He'd already been programmed by the Yevonites, by the Bavelians, to believe that the Al Bhed were bad. So they'd already laid that groundwork, that foundation for him to believe that they were bad. Then that shock, that trauma came in, and he had to lean on the only thing that he had in his life that had always been a constant. And I've been talking about constants and stability being really useful for people's growth as human being in a previous episode. And I think, and that's like the gateway in for all these sort of incorrect, bias, bad beliefs that have been programmed into him to really start doing damage. And he was always against the Al Bhed because of the teachings that he grew up with, but he really doubles down on them after what's his name, Chapu's death. He really doubles down. And this is how people can end up doing really bad things or allowing really bad things to happen. When there's, you can see that in Nazi Germany, like the massive economic struggles they were having after the First World War and the Treaty of Versailles, just sort of lay waste to the German economy. That was a shock, and the shock doctrine that Hitler utilised. I'm going to take these traumatised people who have got nothing left, or they see as nothing left, and I'm going to use that to instigate bad things. Like this definitely happens. And so I think all the things that I'm saying are now coming sort of full circle and now interlinking with each other. That the Yevonites, the Bavelians, have used this shock doctrine over many years to maintain their power structure based on incorrect beliefs and lies with no aspects of truth, and get otherwise potentially good people, or people that have the potential to do good and do good. Waka is good to his friends and stuff like that, but we make sure enough of the population believe in bad things and have bad beliefs in order to maintain our power structures. Hopefully that made sense. And I need to go and make myself another coffee. Be right back. Right, I'm back. I've made myself coffee. I feel like I might have been shouting down the mic a lot, but I'm just very excited because I've had lots more thoughts. And there's still some other thoughts that I know I haven't mentioned, and I'm going to kick myself when I remember later on, but never mind. Or our record, guys, is a record 45 minutes. Maybe it'd be slightly less if I cut out a few bits of me getting up to go and answer the door and trying to remember what I was going to say. But yeah, it's a new record monologue there, people. Overall, I think this has been an absolutely fantastic game, and I haven't enjoyed a game as much as this for a long time. Now, that is not to say that I think it's perfect. I don't think there's such thing as a perfect game. I do have issues with like some things that I wasn't too keen on, which I haven't really spoken about during this playthrough. But I think I'll probably do some sort of review after I've finished. But even so, like that doesn't entirely detract from how good this game is. And I think there's very few games that I've come across that, and this is not the normal sort of game that I play, as some of you might have deduced. There are very few games that I think I've got so much out of in terms of like stimulation and thinking about, you know, what's it getting at, what's it talking about here. And I do think that I disagree with that. This is another thing. Feel free to disagree with what I say in the comments. I have no problem with that comment saying they weren't a massive fan of my left of field things, even though I do think they are pertinent. And actually, just before I started recording, I saw that a couple of the regular flyers, as it were, who's it, Fight Your Sorrow and Hunting Swan, started debating something in the comments. I haven't replied to those yet, but I have seen them, and that actually gave me a little warm, tingly feeling. It's like, oh look, like I fostered a little community discussion going. So I love discussing things, and obviously a monologue that I'm giving to camera is not a great way to have a discussion. But like, I like hearing people's thoughts, and so long as there's no spoilers, again, no spoilers, I might even come to the end of the story of this episode, although I don't think so, because I do want to play some Blitzball, and I'm worried that I won't have an opportunity to play Blitzball if I finish the main story, which for all I know could be in like an hour's time. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, like there are a few things that I wasn't a fan of in this game, but overall, I've been really impressed, guys. So if you're a long-term Final Fantasy X fan, then hopefully that makes you happy. But yeah, I think at some point I'm going to do a proper review. I'm going to do a bit more research on the history and stuff like that of like real world things like Japanese history and Japanese culture and stuff like that, because I think they are baked into this, as well as all the stuff about power structures and stuff like that. I think it's really good. It's really good. Right. I'm really losing my voice. I must have been shouting. I'll have to watch back in edit and maybe turn down my my audio. Okay. I've actually managed to lose my voice. Okay. What have I forgotten to say? My brain is like bees. I'm also playing with a broken controller, so if occasionally you see Tidus run off to the left like that, it's because I've got left stick drift. It just did it again. Okay, stop doing it, Tidus. Okay, right, we're going to play the game now, guys. 49 minutes. Okay, I know I've forgotten something. Okay, I'm not perfect. I can't remember anything. I even wrote down notes, guys. Hold on. Before we go anywhere, we are checking for chests. Yeah, so I haven't given up on chests. What's this? What's this round here? Chests? Look at this. I also think, right, one of the criticisms that I mentioned now is sort of a superficial-ish one, but it's also not. It's not completely superficial. Is that, and I know other people found various points of this game irritating in a similar sort of way, is, and you would have seen from my frustration in the last episode, like the caves. I think this bit was amazing, this bit of the game here, when I was just running down these bits, because there was no random encounters. And I think there's been such a crescendo to the story. I think because, and I know it's not just, 'cause I was having a conversation, I think, was it with Dishrag Chang, I think, like couple of episodes ago. I know it's not just purely aimed at like young people. I think that is a prominent demographic. Maybe the developers were worried like, oh, we've got to give the player something to do. I think they underestimated the impact of the story. And then after those big story revelations, I'm certainly one, I think a lot of other players probably are as well, / were. You just want a bit of peace and quiet. This whole section going down into Zanarkand, no random encounters, not even any music, just that wind. And then just let the game's visuals and sound do more storytelling. You don't need to just cram loads of action. This game has been so action heavy. I think the developers just needed to have a bit more faith in themselves and just say, right, I would have been happy for the next half an hour. Again, you know, I'm pushing middle age, if not in it. So I'm very different to a 12, 13-year-old playing it. But like, I still think even back in those days, I would have been happy with at least like a 10-minute stretch of not having any random encounters after like big story reveals. And those caves, I was like, fuck off, game. Like, seriously, you want me to fight these little fish? Like, they even had the audacity of throwing those little piranha fish at me from the start of the game. It's like, mate, I've quite literally, well, figuratively, got bigger fish to fry. Anyway, right. Let's go. God. Oh no! It's gone against what I've been saying. Why have you done this? Why have you done this, game? I was just praising you for finally cottoning on to. Do I even want? At this point, guys, I don't want any more random encounters. I just want boss fights and the story. That's all I want. I'll fight this one. Right. Hold on, guys. I'm getting messages from Mrs. Brick. Hold on a sec. Right, I'm back. Yeah, I'm interested to know, at this point in the game, did any of you guys just sort of feel the same way? It's like, F the random encounters. I want to know what happened. Surely it's not just me, right? I can't even concentrate on this. I thought maybe last time when I was getting really frustrated with the caves and all that sort of stuff, I thought maybe, well, I have played for like 4 or 5 hours or whatever, maybe I'm just a bit tired, but I'm just immediately straight back in that mentality of don't want these little fish. I know it's a giant sort of flan monster, but like, don't want these little fish. I just want bosses and the story. And to be honest, mainly just the story. I fought a bunch of bosses. Right. I will fight this flan because I've run away from this flan a couple of times. So let's. Do I want to bother? I'll probably mess it up and get party wipe because I'm not in that frame of mind. But let's give it a go. Right. We'll just do haste go on all three of us. We'll get Kamari to scan. Also, one of the comments that I read that I haven't replied to yet said that the reason why I only learned like one overdrive from Kamari is because I'd basically learned all of the overdrives for Kamari already. And I wouldn't have been able to learn Bulldoze, which I was happy to hear about because I didn't learn it. But also, that would have been such a cool move for like a really beefed up, strong Kamari. But never mind. Okay, right. This looks like it's going to have big magic and physical defense. But let's get silence attack. Oh, it's quite weak. Yes, look, it's got big magic defense. Wow, nothing. Do scan, obviously. What is this creature about? Resistance to physical attacks and cuts all elemental damage in half. So, magic is still the way to go. Kamara can learn White Wind. Already learnt it, mate. Already learnt it. Bio is a magic spell. Can we silence it? We can silence it. Great. Okay. Okay, right. So we're going to do Silence Buster. No, it's silenced. Sweet. We're going to get... Lulu in. Now, her damage is going to be cut in half.
Allow me.
But... let's see what damage she does just as a base. It's not resistant to bio, is it? So we'll do that. I don't think it's resistant. Oh, was it? I can't remember now. Yeah, bollocks. Wasn't paying attention. Oh, whoops. Let's... Why magic? Let's haste Lulu. Well, let's just keep on silence bustering it. Don't see why not. Get Riku to come in and steal. Oh, was it immune to slow? Bollocks. I never pay enough attention to that sort of stuff. Let's get... I mean, he's really sort of gibbling and flopping all over the place. Looks like he's hasted. Slow. Mist. So Mist didn't say he was immune. Right, let's actually do black magic. See what we're dealing with. Water go. Oh, God, I cannot be bothered fighting this thing. Let's get Rika into steel.
Wow! Let's say, is that edible?
I don't think so, Riku. I haven't heard her say that before. Star curtain. Okay. I'm so tempted to flee, guys. I'm so tempted to flee. But I'm going to get a load of XP, and I can just keep on silencing it the whole time. So I suppose so far it's pretty easy. Do you know what it's not immune to, as far as I can remember, is armor break. I want to get Tidus in and haste Ormond. Haste Auron, please. Thank you. You might as well have another go and mug him. Mug him off. Couldn't steal anything. 458 damage. Okay, so yeah, armor break was effective there. We want to get Yuna in. What sort of stuff can she do? Could do reflect, but we could just keep him silenced, so that's fine. I mean, I might as well do it on someone, eh? Let's do Reflect on herself.
Mirror of light, reflect magical spite.
That's the first time I've cast it, I think. Okay, now we're going to do... we're going to do mental break.
You shall fear magic.
Yes. Good line. Whoa! 2798. Let's keep... Oh. That must have been a critical hit as well as the armor break coming into effect. Let's see if Lulu can do any more damage now mental break has taken place. Thunderga. We're going to get Waka on to Silence Buster him. Oh, that is savage, yeah. The damage is real. Pretty easy enemy, really. Everyone's had a go, so everyone's going to get... Oh, Jesus. That's not going to save you, my friend. Let's get... It's going to have to be Waka for the overkill. Let's get Kamarion for Auron, and then they can both do cheer. Waka's going for the overkill. Let's get a couple of cheers, maybe we can get an overkill on this thing. Someone said, I can't remember who. Was it Hunting Swan? I think it was. Can't remember exactly in what context they said, but something positive and nice. And it's like, who else would do a million cheers in one fight? So it hasn't gone unnoticed by the community, which I'm happy about. It's a good move, guys. Do I do it unnecessarily? Often because I lose count? Yes, but never mind. Right, cheer, please. More cheers. No, not white magic. Cheers. So I think we're gonna... Waka's gonna sit this one out. Oh, what have we got left? That's probably gonna kill him. So Waka's just gonna defend himself. Gonna do 2 more cheers. Cheer, and then hopefully, if I really could be bothered, I'd also get Riku in to do luck and boost Waka's luck, but I can't be bothered. Could do it. Could do it. Let's get Riku in now. Do a cheeky little boost of luck. Yeah. Riku, your services are required. Man, I fought the bloody thing. I might as well give myself the best chance. We can get 2 lucks in with Riku now. We'll do another cheer with Kamari, which... Have I lost count of the cheers? Yeah, but I think this might be number 5. So I think we boosted Waka's attack as much as possible. Do 1 more luck. So that's 2 lucks for Waka. Now, hopefully this is going to be overkill, guys. Oh, guys, no one commented on the overkill I got on the Sanctuary Keeper, was it? Sanctuary Keeper. Come on, that was good, guys. I thought that was good. Also, I was particularly pleased with my strategy. Although it wasn't really needed in the end, I don't think. But against Seymour Sucks, what did I do? I did Shell. No, not was it Shell? Shell / Protect on. I think it was Protect on Auron, and then got Auron to guard. That was good. Don't think I ever needed it in the end. Right, I think it's obviously just in case he doesn't die, we'll get Silence Buster on the go. But hopefully this will be overkill, guys.
Take that.
It's not overkill. Still did over 6 grand of damage though. Oh, what loads of spheres. Guys, we're doing spheres right now. Oh my god, my voice. Sphere grid. Riku's got 5. That's what I like to see. Oh, this is good. Getting lots of agility and defense. Use speed sphere, please. Move. Let's have a bit of this. Did people like my menu jingle? No one commented on that, so I assume people could give or take it. I enjoyed it though. I don't care. Right. Now, I'm also aware I haven't used all the extra like spheres that I've picked up, but whatever. Oh, a nice bit of evasion for Lulu there. Oh, invasion by 4. Yum, yum, yum. In my tum. Oh, boost to magic as well. Oh, magic increased by 4 points. Is this magic defense by 4 as well? That is some friggin' end game stat boost in there. For what I've ever seen it. Right, so we've got. Now, what was that strength? Please tell me that's strength by 4. Yes! Is this defense by 4 as well? Go on. Defense by 3. Take it. Move. Yep, move to that. Auron. What have we got for Auron here? This is going to be strength by 4. Certainly is. It certainly is. And we're going to get some HP as well. Nice. Move one more, please, Auron. I've got to try and not talk as much over the next few minutes. I feel like a singer. I've got to protect my voice. I'm performing tomorrow. I do forget sometimes when I get very excited and sort of focused on something. I really sort of raise my voice, and the amount of times Mrs. Brick has sort of just gently put her hand on my arm, something like, "You're shouting. Please, well, she didn't say please control yourself, but I can see in her eyes, she's like, you need to just, be aware of your surroundings." Right, where are we going? I'm now just thinking of all the times that's happened. It's quite a lot. Okay, right, what are we talking about here? Evasion by 4. Get in my tummy. Yum, yum, yum. Is this agility by 4? I hope so. Yes. Oh, let's get some HP as well. Move. Yes. Right, Waka. I don't know what. Oh, it's agility. Okay. Increase MP, which is good because he's got all the various buster moves, which may very well come in handy. Use. Yum, yum, yum. What's this? Osmos, which I can get. I don't know what that does yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Obviously, it's associated with osmosis, so it's the transference of something. If drain is taking HP, I imagine Osmose is taking MP. Increase by 3, and then we'll move up to here and get Osmose. Right. Okay, so everyone, no Kamari. Oh, this ability. Oh yeah, he's on Auron's Threaten. That's useful. That is useful. Because, well, now I imagine it's going to be mostly bosses. So Threaten, I imagine, is going to be ineffective against most end game bosses, I would have thought. So it's not that useful, but maybe if I decide to not flee from random encounters, it could be useful. What I'm more happy about is I can see some evasion right there. And we need to, because at the moment his evasion is 7, which is not good. Right. Okay, right, we're done. Oh, do you know what I never looked at? I got that half time. Does that like drain half? It would be cool if that drains half people's life, but I doubt it. Why am I just using strength plus 10? What's going on here? That's when I've got half MP cost. Tell you what, that's not bad. That's not bad, is it, at all? That means all my buster moves will be 5 MP. I imagine the final boss, whatever that is going to be, probably going to be immune to all of his bollocks anyway, isn't it? Okay, well, I'll think about that. I still haven't I've only customised Auron's. Oh God, can I be bothered?
How many sticks you think we can get out of these?
20. Watch out for heave. 23,000. Could get Auron into Threaten. I'm tempted just to flee. I'm literally tempted just to flee, guys. Let's see if he's immune to this.
Calm down.
He's immune. Oh, bollocks. Let's do Dark Buster. He's immune to that as well. Have some of that, mate. Didn't like that, did you? Let's get Tidus on. And we're gonna do Haste Ga again. Does eat up his MP like the clappers though. He's immune to everything. Is he immune to Sleep Buster? He's not. Lulu, you're in.
Let's end this.
I don't know how many hit points he's got left. This might kill it. Kamari. It's got 4,000 left. Let's do Lancet. Why not? Mighty Guard is friggin' awesome. That's like elemental protection, I believe. So glad I did that. Well, it's asleep. So we're going to get Riku out. No, we're not. We're going to get Yuna out. No, we'll keep Riku out. She'll do Steel. We're going to get... Waka in. Going to do Sleep Buster again. Say goodnight. Oh, he's dead. Bollocks. I forgot about that. Oh well. Did everyone have a go? Switch hitter. Let's have a quick look. Could be good. Zombie touch. Zombie touch. Yep, slight reduction in strength, but could be useful. Okay, right. Trying to see if there's a sphere. Fortune sphere. Sweet. I actually can't be bothered with any more of these. Oh, heave straight away. That could have killed Kamari. Yeah. I can't be bothered. Let's just get Titus in and flee. Bye, Kamari. It's fine. It's fine. Abilities, Yuna. Yeah. Oh! Oh, yay, thank God. Cutscene.
Looks like the far plane.
Close enough.
Close enough because so many people were killed here. Oh. Now, I know, guys, that this is the game saying, right, we're giving you all these big, tough enemies because this is your last chance to gain XP. But I'm not going to save over any saves from now on. I'm going to make new saves each time. I really just want to get through onto the next bit of story, so I'm fleeing. Hopefully that won't come back to bite me in the arse. See another chest over there. Bye. Do you remember when I fought that thing as like the purple thing? It's like a mini boss. It's just a standard enemy now. I've seen you, chest. Obtain spiritual Taj. Now, who is Taj? Is that? Bangle, Bracer, Taj. Ah, right. MP Stroll. I don't know what that is. Don't know what MP Stroll is, and I like what she's got at the moment, so we're fleeing this. No, I'm not fighting you again. Let's massage my larynx. Right, come on. I want a cutscene now. That's not a cutscene, is it? Goodbye, fiends. Oh, what's this? I'll tell you what it is. It's a sphere. Save. New save. This looks a bit like the Blitzball Stadium, doesn't it? I wonder if that's what it's supposed to be. It's got like the sphere. Oh, there's somebody here.
Journeyer of the long road.
My name is Yuna. I'm a
I
summoner.
am the summoner Yuna. I have come from the island of Besaid.
Your eyes, my dear, show me the
All right,
long
chill out, mate. No need for that.
Traveled. Very good.
You've got giant
You have
bags under your
journeyed
eyes.
Lady Yunaleska will show
Ah,
you
right. We are
welcome
definitely
your
meeting
arrival.
Yunaleska.
Go to her now and bring your guardians with you. Go.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, two things. What you just said, bring your guardians with you, and now the pre-combat music has started. We're going to be fighting Yunaleska, aren't we? Is she like the... I bet she's like the final test that the summoner has to pass. So instead of like a cloister of trials, we have to fight Yunaleska, and then she'll be like, oh, you're worthy of getting the final Aeon. That's what it'll be. Infrastructure has been absolutely decimated.
If it might benefit the future of Spira, I will gladly give my life. It is the highest honor for which a guardian might ask. Use my life, Lady Yoken, and rid Spira of sin.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
What was that?
Our predecessors.
She said Lady Yoken, didn't she? Wait, she guarded High Summoner Yoken?
This dome is filled with fireflies. It's like one gigantic sphere. People's thoughts remain here forever.
Right. Oh, no! Do I want to fight this thing? 42... mental break works well. Okay, right. I'll fight this thing, guys. All right, fine. I'll fight it. You happy now? Okay, right. We're gonna get. We're gonna get Auron in for Tidus. He's gonna do mental break. Then we're gonna bring Tidus in for Kamari, and he's gonna do Heiska. Auron's gonna do mental break straight away.
I foresee no difficulty.
That's the attitude. Have some of this. That's a lot of damage already. Nice one, Auron. Now this guy's gonna be no joke. I remember his brother that we fought at the end of the Calmlands. Punched big. Now, is he going to be immune to slow? Hard to say. And we're going to get Waka in. Waka's going to go... I don't think I've ever used aim or needed to use aim once. I reckon he'd be immune to sleep. So let's start with Buster, Dark Buster. Yeah, massive physical armour. Nice Waka. So, we're gonna get armor break on the go, and we're gonna get power break on the go. What do we want first? We want power break just in case he actually hits us. Half that power. Yeah. Oh, he's immune to power break. Okay, right, fine. We're going to go special. We're going to do cheer. This one's for you, hunting swan. I think it was you that said the thing about a million cheers. Let's do another Dart Buster. We'll do another. Actually, no, we won't. We'll get Lulu in, or let's get Riku in. She can steal. No, she can mug. Unlucky Chucky. We're gonna get. No, we might as well get Auron in to attack him again. What have we got? Magic break, armor break. He's probably immune to armor break as well, but let's see. He's not. Nice. We're gonna get Kamari in to do a cheer. You know what you want. I keep going to special. Oh, stop doing special. Skill. Dark Buster. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice bit of damage there. Right, now we're going to get Unit in. She can do some protecting. Can protect Auron, and then Auron's going to guard. We're going to switch Waka out for Lulu. Let's see how much damage the magic does. Actually, screw that. Let's just do a focus straight off the bat. Nice. This is such a good combo. Him having well, it's not Tacit Blade anymore. It's called something else, but the counter attack. You protect Auron, so if he does get hit, damage is like halved. He's got a massive amount of HP, so he's a tank anyway. Then he's also got the counter attack as well. It's a winning formula. Protect, guard, counter attack. Can't beat it. Let's do another focus. So it's 2 focuses for Lulu. We're going to get Tidus on just to haste. We're going to bring Auron back on, don't worry. We're going to bring Auron back on. We're just going to get Tidus to haste Lulu. We're going to switch Auron back in. Now, he's still got Protect on it. He's still got Guard on, I hope. I'm just going to do it again, just in case. Just in case. Right. Special. We can do another focus. We're going to do... oh, I wonder if... Slow. I reckon he's probably immune to slow, but we'll see. Yeah, he's immune, yeah. Oh, I literally did about quadruple your damage there, my friend. Let's see. Let's do another focus. I think that's 4 focuses now. Might as well do one more focus before we start blasting in with spells. Let's get Una on to heal Auron, why not? There you go, Auron. Right as rain. Just hit him. Just hit him. Absolutely savage. And last focus. Now, let's just check. Auron's still got protect. Okay, sweet. Might as well do protect on yourself. You know, why not? This is basically a done deal, this fight now. Let's do Blizzaga.
Icing on the cake.
Nice. Good line. It's a lot of damage. Lulu's weren't. Oh, warrior. Nice. You can take that. That's fine. Let's actually get Kamarian just to check how many hit points this guy has got left. Not much. Okay, I'm just going to kill him, and if he dies, he dies. Good. He's still alive. Right, we want hopefully Lulu can wash him away as an overkill. How's that not an overkill? 7,000 damage. Anyway, level 2 key sphere. Who needs healing? Abilities, Una. Una needs healing herself. Okay. Right, I don't really want any more fights now. Okay, they're all under zombie. Yeah, I think they're all zombie. We could probably kill them pretty easily, couldn't we? Alright, we'll kill them pretty easy. Hopefully they won't do too much damage. The flame one. Fallen monk, he's the flamethrower guy. Get rid of him. Yeah, sweet. Pitiful damage. We can take this all day. Okay, they've both gone for Una though. That's what we like to see. Let's get Waka in. Let's make sure we get an overkill. How's that not an overkill? Alright, Eunice had a go. Let's get... No, let's make sure... I don't want him to have another go. Let's make sure he's dead. Let's get Titus in, surely. Yeah, okay, right, he's dead. Nice. Need some healing. Oh, look, there's little alternate routes here. Like up here. What's up here? Right, we're just going to run from all of this stuff. Oh, they got first strike. Unfair. It's a lot of damage. God, they're really picking on Waka. No, I haven't got time for this nonsense, lads. Chest. I haven't got time. Always got time for a chest. Always got time for a chest. 10,000 gil. I won't say no. Get out of it. Now, shall we change Lulu's overdrive to warrior? I think we should. I think we should. Slayer's pretty good. But I think warrior's better. Yes. Flee. Oh, was that Mrs. Brick I heard come in? Hold on a sec, guys. I'll be back. Right, I'm back. It wasn't Mrs. Brick. Must have been a ghost. Or a murderer. Let's hope not. Right, we've got another save sphere. Save, please. Dun, dun. No, no, lads. Oh, you get first go. That is unfair. Oh, just been at the save sphere, guys. I'm actually going to run back to the save sphere just to top up. Oh, what's this?
No! Mother, no! I don't want you to become a Fae!
There is no other way. Use me and defeat sin. Only then will
Is that little Seymour?
I don't care about them!
It is.
I need you, Mother! No one else!
I don't have much time left.
Hey, wasn't that...
Yeah,
Seymour?
it was. Hold on, that they just casually dropped that in there. That's big. That's very big. That's very big. Okay, well, okay, that... I did not think we would see little Seymour. But I'm glad we did, because that's saying a lot, and I'm processing in real time now. So, what did we just see? We saw little Seymour saying, "Mum, please don't go. I don't want you to become a faith." She said, like, stop crying or whatever, I haven't got much time left. So she was dying. Maybe she was dying of a disease or something like that. So she wingingly became a faith. And then she obviously wanted Seymour to become a summoner. And she said, use me to defeat sin as a summoner. Oh man, so that must, so Seymour's what am I trying to say? Seymour's Aeon anima. That's his mum, essentially, isn't it? That's the Aeon form of his mum's faith. That must be it. Oh, it makes so much sense. So that is why anima appears like that. And this, so you get loads of different versions of different Aeons. So you get different types of Valifor, and they have slightly different like personalities and stuff depending on who the faith is that the summoner uses to summon that version of Valifor. I know each of them have different names, but like, so Yuna's Valifor is sort of nicer. We see it sort of like sheltering Tidus when he goes and punches it. Maybe another type of Valifor called a different name because it's got a different face, and because it's used by a different summoner will have a slightly different persona. And that also makes loads of sense because what the Rise have done is that they've cleverly incorporated the actual mechanics of the game into the lore of the story, because the mechanics is as Yuna gets stronger, so do her aeons, and that's like a mechanic of the game. But also, like, more than that, like, the aeons are a reflection of the personality and everything that comes with that of the summoner. We can't summon. I haven't seen anyone else summon Anima except Seymour. So Anima is a unique Aeon to Seymour, and the move that it did, I remember the move that it did back when they the fiends attacked Luca was called Pain, and Anima is like literally chained up. That is no coincidence. Obviously you guys must know this because you're all big fans, but like, that is no coincidence that it's all chained up like a slave to the pain that Seymour is suffering. And also like the spirit. Oh my god, yeah, I'm just thinking about it now. So like, how he summons Anima, which again is the Aeon manifestation of his mum's spirit, his mum's soul. He wrenches it from hell. I know it's not necessarily hell, but it wrenches it like unwillingly, almost, kicking and screaming in that like weird Venus flytrap with all like the chains around it. Its main move is Pain, a manifestation of Seymour's pain, and I also think his mother's pain, because she doesn't want to come. She wanted Seymour to use her spirit to fight the evil sin, as they all see sin. Somewhere down the line, and now we're coming back to the theme of trauma, which the whole world is traumatized, but we see it like in an individual as Waka, but now we also see it in Seymour. And this is what happens potentially to some people like Waka if you don't have other good people around you, good support networks, and you're also maybe a certain way inclined, potentially, not necessarily either. You can go down these really dark routes. It happens in real life. Obviously they've exaggerated Seymour's character even more, and now he's like super evil, but you know, it's a fantasy game. So he's consumed by his trauma and his pain, the move of Anima. After his mum's death, he's probably left alone and abandoned. He obviously felt he was alone and abandoned. He felt that his mum abandoned him. And now he's summoning her for his own evil machinations against her will. And she is dragged into the world of Spira against her will as his slave of punishment. And you might not want to hear this commenter who said you didn't like my monologues about philosophy and Waka and all that stuff. But again, I do think what I said then is relevant now. Because now, what did I say, guys? Back when I was talking about Seymour being a psychopath or a sociopath, what I was saying, is like a psychopath, but they are environmentally shaped, or more environmentally shaped. They are shaped by their environment, their surroundings, their upbringing, everything that happened to them. That's how they turn into like this person that has like no empathy, is very selfish, in this case evil. He has been shaped. We said there, like I think I said in a previous episode, like Seymour when he was 2 or 3 wasn't an evil guy. He became evil. And we see there, what is he, like sort of 6, 7, maybe 8, something like that. He was just an upset child. Now, who knows, maybe he had proclivities in his earlier childhood, that he was a bit sort of mischievous, a bit nasty. Who knows, we'll never know, unless we get more background on him. Maybe. But what we can say, he certainly wasn't the Seymour that we've seen in this game back then. Really interesting. So yeah, again, it comes back to my philosophical rant, or whatever we want to call it, about people aren't fundamentally good or bad. They're shaped by their actions and their thoughts, but no one's innately good or bad. And something else I didn't say is that even if you think, oh yeah, but you get psychopaths that are just like psychopathic from birth, that potentially is true. It's very hard to extricate, what's genetic influence, what's environmental influence, and how they interact. It's very hard to do that. But let's say people can be psychopathic innately. That doesn't actually necessarily mean they're bad people. You can have functioning psychopaths that might be, say, neurosurgeons, right? That's been discussed before. People have talked about that. That actually do a lot of good in society. They save people from brain tumours and stuff like that. Now, they might go into surgery because they just like the thrill and the competitive nature, and they do it for like selfish reasons. They want that status. But actually, what they're doing, regardless of how they feel about what they're doing and their justifications for what they're doing internally, externally, it doesn't matter what their motivations are, because the output of their motivations is a universal good. They're saving people's lives. So even what we as a society would sort of generally see as like, oh, innately bad people, psychopaths, it's not necessarily the case. I even watched a video like a year ago or something, or 6 months ago or something. It was interviewing a psychiatrist who is a psychopath. You can't technically get a clinical definition of psychopathy, but let's not go down that road. But she is seen and she understands and accepts that she is a psychopath. But what's her job? She's trying to help people. She does it out of intellectual curiosity and also wanting to maybe understand herself a bit more. She doesn't necessarily do it because she's an altruistic person. But the product of her being a psychiatrist and her actions is, I'd like to hope, a net positive. So even what society would normally see as like an evil person, psychopath, does not necessarily mean they're innately evil. And so I think my commentary about, philosophy behind good and evil is directly relevant to this, guys. It is directly relevant. Hopefully people can see that. It's not just me like going completely off the plot. I think it's all interconnected, guys. And again, I know I've talked about this before, but coming back to Waka as an example of humanity and the different paths you can go down. Like, just comparing Waka to Seymour. Waka obviously had a fantastic support network around him with, Yuna and Lulu and probably his blitzball team, all really supportive. Then later that we see in this game, Riku being there, humanising the Al Bhed even before he knew she was Al Bhed. When he found out she was Al Bhed, he already liked her and potentially sort of loved her sort of as a friend so much that really helped him overcome his prejudices. I would hazard a guess that Seymour did not have those support networks. Maybe he was just brought up just by his mum and his dad was dead or didn't care, and so like he became an orphan maybe. I think whatever happened to him, he was left to stew on what his mum had done, how he'd seen it, that he was abandoned. Maybe other things happened to him in his life, like if he went into like foster care or orphanages, which can be like not a great experience sometimes. His upset that his mum had gone turned into bitterness and hatred towards her. Maybe he even turned her into this trapped Aeon as a punishment against her as he became more and more evil. Either way, you can tell she doesn't like it in her anima Aeon form. So interesting. See, this game, it gets better and better, doesn't it? Like extra layers. But come on guys, you can't deny that my monologues about human nature, even if you disagree with them, you feel free to disagree, but you can't say that discussion that I've opened up isn't relevant. Come on. Surely. Oh, great stuff. What was I going to say? Yeah, I suppose, yeah, I sort of interrupted myself. Just that, like, the difference between Walker and Seymour. If Walker had been in Seymour's position and he didn't have those support networks, could he have gone down an equally dark path? No, he doesn't have the same powers, like the magic powers that Seymour has, but he could have become a very nasty person. But he didn't. And I don't think that's because he's an innately good or bad person, just as Seymour isn't an innately good or bad person. It's because of the context in which they sit with and process their trauma. It's really important. That's what I love about this game, man. It's got a real... It really spans the breadth. It focuses in on individual characters. It's sort of like, this is what happens to individuals. But then also it broadens out onto a wider sociological, population level study of, you know, corruption, politics, religion, politics of power, control, deceit, all that sort of stuff. Great. Gotta stop playing soon. I have actually... Who was it? I think it was Fight Your Sorrow. Sort of laughed at the thing I said. Oh yeah, I haven't got much more longer for recording. I think this is the previous episode. And then the recording carries on for the next 2.5 hours or something, or 2 hours 50 or something. But I do actually probably have to stop recording in the next hour or so, because me and Mrs. Brick are going round Mrs. Brick's family's house. So I don't think we're going to get to the end of the story today, guys. But let's see how far we get. Oh, this is what I want. Don't need any more random encounters. And I know they're going to drop one in as soon as I carry on. But I'm gonna get past them. I'm just gonna flee. Part of me doesn't want any more backstory on Seymour. I sort of feel like that is the perfect amount of backstory on Seymour, just to get your juices flowing and think, oh, that's so cool, what happened? Mate, I reckon if they drop that in, we probably will get a little bit more, maybe in a maniacal monologue or something like that he delivers. But I feel like let's just leave it there. Just leave it there. Leave it hanging. I mean, if there is more, I'll probably eat it up. But I'd be very happy if they just left it there like that. Go away, robots. Don't give a fuck about you. Sorry. I'm missing out on loads of experience. I know this is bad, guys. I'm putting this is bad designing from the devs. I don't want the fights anymore. Obtain friend sphere, great. I should get some experience, shouldn't I? I should. Alright, what's the quickest way I can... Even if I get experience to just some people, I probably should, shouldn't I? Let's friggin' do it. Let's friggin' do it. Alright, white magic. I'm just going to save all the overdrives now. Let's do... what do we want? Again, I can't concentrate on the battle, so I'm just thinking about what we just seen. What do I want? Boy, what am I doing? What am I doing, everyone? Darkbuster. That's right. Fuck you. Eat Blitzball. We want... Oh, I can't be bothered. This thing's got like 40,000 hit points as well, isn't it? Right, let's get everybody to have a go at least. Let's get Kamari on. Yeah. It's got armor break. Is it immune to armor break? I don't think it is it? Nice. Ah, loser. Riku, let's get everybody on. Oh, fine. It doesn't take that much to let's get her doing a bit of mug. talent for acquisition. Trophy earned. Successfully reckoned 200 times. Nice. Right, we're going to get Waka on. He's going to do another Dark Buster. Eat this. We're doing so much damage. 40 grand's worth of hit points is nothing these days, to be honest. Get Yuna in. No, actually, don't want Yuna in. We want Lulu in. Do a spell. Do any random one. All to go, that'll do. He's still got Dark Attack. So let's get Auron in. Oh, you prick! Why is Haymaker immune to, like, darkness? Right, okay, well, Yuna can have her go, not to worry. Right, we're gonna get Tidus back in. He's gonna White Magic Haste. I'll just do haste go on everyone. I know you already hasted. Let's do whack her out. So at least try and get him to miss. Unbelievable. Yuna, this is why I didn't want to fight this guy. It's just a pain in the arse. He's not going to win. He's not going to win. He's just an annoying obstacle in my way. Now I'm sounding like Seymour now, aren't I? Oh, the pitiful... What's it called? Defender Z. Oh, you are an irritant. He's got a point. Where's life? Right, Auron. Just attack him. White Magic. Protect. Where are you? Oh, do you know what? Heal Auron. No. Dark Attack. He doesn't seem to be doing this normal punch that gets affected. Oh, 8 grand. Jesus.
Farewell.
Yeah. Who are you? Who are you? That is how it's done, Auron. I agree. Now, if I could have been bothered, I would have done loads of cheering. Sorry to disappoint Hunting Swan. I know you'll be devastated that I didn't do any cheering there. And quite frankly, so am I. I've let myself down. Right, we're fleeing the next friggin' battle, man. Stuff this. Oh, I hate these things. Yes. Is Yuna more agile than Tidus? Oh, Tidus isn't in the lineup. Well, he will be now. Tidus, get in here. You know what you need to do. We bravely, bravely run away, as Monty Python say. Leg it. Oh! Is that Braska? It is!
Hey, Braska. You don't have to do this.
Thank you for your concern.
Fine, I said my piece.
Well, I haven't. Lord Braska, let us go back. I don't want to see you die. You knew this was to happen, my friend.
Yes, but I cannot accept it.
Friggin' muscly arms, isn't he, old Auron? Young Auron, even.
I am honored that you care for me so. But I have come to kill grief itself. I will defeat sin and lift the veil of sorrow covering Spira. Please understand, Auron.
How long for? Not very long. Oh, can't be bothered. What? Hold on, what's going on here? Freaking hell! Has Kamari learned flee? I think he has. God, I wasn't paying any attention there. Look at this! Look at this crap! I'm out of here. Nearly got party wiped by those stupid robots. I didn't heal my party, did I? Let's do that now. This is what I mean. I'm just not concentrating, guys. I don't care. I can't. My brain cannot focus on game mechanics at the moment. Rawr! Quickly! Don't care. Follow the lads. Chest. We'll stop for a chest. Luxsphere, sweet.
Are the trials ahead?
Probably.
Here too, huh? Give me a break.
So, this is because we're about to meet Unalesca according to that priest dude we met at the entrance. So none of these guys know that Unalesca is in there. They just think it's another like cloister of trials. But as I was saying, I think Unalesca is the trial by combat, as it were.
Some fireworks.
You can ask for them after I defeat Sin.
Right. Absolutely safe. Quickly! I'm getting impatient now. If you give me another random fucking encounter, I'm gonna go mental. Oh no, it's not a cloister of trials! Why, guys, come on. Why have they given me this bollocks now? This is like one of the worst bits of the game. I know like some people like them, but I didn't have much time for them in the first place. Oh no. If I have to stop recording and I haven't found out what happens next because of this stupid cloister of trials, I'd be so pissed off. That's going to happen. This is probably going to take me half an hour to do. At least. It's the last one, so this is going to be the most convoluted bollocks in the game, isn't it? Ugh. Don't get me wrong, guys. This isn't detract from the fact that I really love the game, but this is stupid. Developers, why did you put this in? Because afterwards you've still got to probably like fight Unalesca or do something really convoluted with Unalesca. Why couldn't she just be the final trial? That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought, thank God, we're done with the trials now. Even like people in the comments going, yeah, Bavel, was it Bavel? Whatever, the one with the moving treadmill, the Tron treadmill trial, whatever one that was. People were saying, oh yeah, no, I didn't like that one. Now, okay, we got Tetris. Oh, what's happened? I like Tetris normally. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this one. Right. So we've got a match. No, already this doesn't make sense. Because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 blocks across on the screen. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 blocks. So if you just got to... So we shut on the lights, but some of them are going to be false, aren't they? So... But also some of these squares are different colours. Does that give a hint as to where... I can't be bothered to use my brain like this. Okay, right, so... So is this going to be the... I call it the the backwards or left giraffe, which is okay. No, okay. I thought that was going to be the giraffe, but it's not. It's the stick. This is what I call the Tetris blocks, guys. Sorry, you hear me thinking out loud now. So we've got because it wasn't a backwards giraffe. It's a forward giraffe. So we've got a blue forward giraffe. Oh, is this it over here? Yeah. Okay. What's this one over here? I can't tell what that light is. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Bollocks. Okay, right. As I trod it, I knew it was bloody wrong. Right, that's right. That's right. Oh God, come on! Don't rush it, otherwise it'll take longer. I didn't even mean to tread on that one. This is torture designed by the devs. I'm not happy about it. Right, we've got another little triad. Don't ask me why I call it that. But that's not that one or that one. It's going to be this one. Yep. So now we're looking for a zigzag, which is going to be this one. Okay, that wasn't that complicated. But there's going to be another like sort of 3 or 4 of these now, and obviously they're going to get more convoluted. Oh God. Just stay calm and try and get through this as quickly as possible. I'm not getting the destruction sphere, guys. I cannot be bothered. Do we have to... Do we push this back in? Or do we need to get spheres to stick in it? Okay, right. For Christ's sake. Right. Do we have to get into position? No. Oh, look, the sphere's here. Is that the destruction sphere or is that Killica sphere? Killica sphere? Oh, they're going to be all the different like islands and places that I've been to, right? No, I've turned off the lights. Is that going to... Screw this. Let's go back. Let's put that in there. Search sphere. That's going to turn the light back on. Oh, it doesn't let me take it. That's interesting. All right, fine. So we're looking for one of these, and it's not that one next to it because I think that's like a triad, so we're going to leave that. We have got some of these little corners. That's not a Tetris block. We have got, I think this is another corner here. Oh no, it's one of the zigzags, fine. What? Oh, there's only one of the zigzags. Yeah, it's the corners that we want. Okay, right, fine. I can't tell if this is another corner here. It is. Good. So we need one more of those corners. This is going to be a corner, right? Yep. So that's the 3 corners taken. 3 corners. I haven't effing laughed, mate. Serious. Right, we've got... Is that a big long one here? It is. So what we've got left? We've got... I've done the 3 corners. We've got 2 giraffes. We've got a zigzag. We have got a zigzag. This is a giraffe here, I reckon. Oh, fuck. Oh, no, we didn't get the 3 corners because one of them was wrong, apparently. This looks like... Don't tread on that. We've already got the zigzags. We don't want another zigzag. This looks like a giraffe that we need. Yep. What? Fucking hell. I hate this, guys. I've got no time for this. Oh, I didn't even want to tread on that one. Oh, no, it's not that one, is it? Neither of those ones are right. Right, okay, fine. My head is not in this at all. Right, it's these 2. It's that one. It's this one over here. Oh, it's not that one over there. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. I'm tempted. I might just cut all of this out until I get it. Right, that's not right. Okay, well, we found this one. This one's going to be wrong. Oh no, that one's right. This one's right. This one's right, surely. This one's right. This one's right. This one's right. Which one do we need now? We just need one more corner. This one. Okay. Oh, now we need to go and push another thing in, right? Okay, so it's all the same chamber. Right. Got it. Okay. Is it more like rough groupings? So the 2 corners should be found close to each other. That's possibly it. Yeah, okay. So maybe this one is correct because it's close to this one, and therefore the other 2 corners should be close to each other as well in that sort of pattern. Now we know there's... So these two were right last time. So it could be... Could be this... Oh no. Could be this and this one. Okay. Maybe that's what it is then. We've got 2 giraffes. Ah, right. So it's got to be the relative orientation, maybe. So this one is a giraffe facing the right way. And then I don't know. I think maybe this one is a giraffe facing them. No, that's wrong. Bollocks. We need to find a giraffe facing. Could it be this one? No, don't hit that. Oh, I need to see those 2 corner ones over there. Is that all of them? Yeah. Oh, God. Right. Let's just get through it. I think I might cut all this stuff out, guys. I can't see how people are particularly interested in watching me do all of this. Right, okay. Now I feel like... Okay, that's not right. Okay, fine. Oh, didn't want to tread on that. Ugh. Right, so there are 2 corner ones. I need to find one more zigzag. Okay, it's not that one. No, I didn't even want to step on that. No, that's a corner one we didn't want. Okay. So in which case... Okay, there's not specific ones that are correct necessarily. Okay, right. So this one is in the correct orientation. We've found... Now that zigzag was wrong. Now what about these ones down here? Is this a zigzag? No, it's not. Bollocks. Okay, fine. No, that's nothing. Ah, is this a zigzag over here? Yes, it is. Okay, right. That's that one. Boom. That's got to be right, surely. Yep. Nice. Then we have not these. We have this. We have these two. Is that all of them? I think that might be all of them. I think that's it. Yep. Alright, okay. Can't push that one in. This one. Right, okay. God, not interested in this at all. I don't think this is right. Yeah, because it's wrong orientation. Correct. Correct. That's the wrong orientation, is it? Yeah, it is. This one might be wrong as well. No, it's not good. So we've got two facing this way, two facing that way. We need one more. We need two more corners. We need another corner facing the other way. So I think it'll be this one on the corner here. Oh, crap. Crap. I thought that was a corner one. It's not. It's a bloody... Okay, right. No, I don't want to... But this zigzag... Oh, I didn't... Oh, my God. This should be right. Yeah. And then these corners are right. This is a corner. This is a corner. This is a corner. Right, we need to find... This could be it. No, bollocks. Damn. So we need to find that other giraffe. Might as well get this while I'm here. Now, what haven't I stepped on? Oh, this one. Okay, right. Right, we've got both the giraffes now, so I think we've done it as long as I don't mess up. Have a bit of that. Just need to get the corners now, don't we? Which I think is this one. Is that all of them? Yes. Right. This is such a pace. This is such a pacing killer. Such a pacing killer. Like, just when everything is crescendoing, like, this is not the moment when the players need a break. Players need a break after a big combat. Like a big boss fight. But what they've done is they've needlessly filled in all the run up to this trial with fiend encounters, which I don't think you need, and then thought, well, players are going to need a break from that. Let's have a cloister trial. It's like, no, don't have any fiend encounters. This should all be story, maybe with 1 or 2 mini bosses, maybe. But me personally, I'll just go straight to the next cutscene. Let's go and meet Unalesca, and then do what we have to do with Unalesca. That's what I think. Or maybe we don't meet Unalesca. Maybe Seymour appears again. Because I know we're not done with him. Well, I don't know, but I know. Right, so this one next. Okay, so now I've got to take the spheres, right? Besaid sphere. Can I not? Is it just these 2 left? Yeah, it's just these 2 left, so. Insert. What's this going to do? Anything? That didn't do anything, so we'll take that. Right. Okay. Oh, does that mean I don't have to do any more Tetris trials? Please, please, Lord. Let's pray to Yevon, corrupt as it is. Oh, that's reminded me of another thing I wanted to talk about. Let's pause it right here. So another thing I wanted to talk about at the start was, I think in a previous episode, I was talking about how, you know, what is Yevon? Is it a deity? Is it the structure, or the theocratic structure that Bevelle have put in place? And I can't remember if I said this. I think I did to a certain extent. I was saying I think it's all of that. And I think that's another thing, going back to power structures and how the Bevellians have created this more modern, I mean, it's still really old, but like modern power structure around Yevon. It's like they've like deliberately made themselves and the structure of the power structure of the Yevon theocracy one and the same as Yevon. When like Waka prays to Yevon, they've made themselves so intertwined with the spirit of Yevon and the sort of semi-deity, the deistic being that people might pray to as Yevon. They've deliberately merged their own power structures and the theocracy and the ministers, all with this concept of Yevon, to make sure the people treat them all as the same sort of thing. A bit like, sorry for the Catholics that might be in the chat, but a bit like how the Pope is seen as like God's representative on earth. They've sort of done that with like the maesters and all the sort of the high clergy of Yevon, but it's even more blurry than that. So like the lines are even more sort of like hazy, so that to go against the clergy of Yevon, to go against Seymour, to go against the maesters, is going against Yevon itself. And we even see that when the Guado attack home, the Al Bhed are saying, oh, it's Yevon, it's the Guado, it's Yevon, they're attacking us. So like Bevelle has successfully created that illusion of being at one with Yevon and the traditional belief system, even though they've walked here, as Una said. Very interesting. And I wonder if, like, I know Jiskel was a Guado. I wonder how long the Guado have been intrinsic to Bevelle and Yevon. Did that come in with Jiskel? I assume it did to some extent. Or were the Guado always incredibly devout before that? Anyway, let's not get into that now. I just want to get past this. But hopefully people... I'll try and remember to leave this bit in if I do cut out the rest of the trial. Oh, is it? Please tell me that it's done. Please. Oh, save sphere. Yes.